Now, however, let's talk about Miss Emma Chamberlain. Emma Chamberlain is such a fascinating creator. Such a fascinating creator, and I think such a talented creator. And I'm going to go through some of Emma's old content just to keep with the same theme that I was doing here. If you don't know, Emma does kind of like quirky style vlogs. I think she really, in recent times, has been that definition of the word quirky, which is such a weird word, and I don't know how I feel about that in general, but we'll just go with it. But her first couple of videos were like city inspired summer lookbooks, and she says that she made these videos because she was so depressed with school and YouTube was her outlet, and because it was such a genuine love interest from the start, I feel like that's why she was so successful on this platform. And rightfully so. The platform needed that. It was in desperate need. This was only 3 years ago. Desperate need of some authenticity, especially during 2017. Let's be fucking real. 2017 on YouTube was not a good time. Not a good time. So it needed it. And Emma was there. Emma was quirky. People related to her. I related to her. And I'm not necessarily in her demographic. I'm not a quirky white bitch girl. I mean, I'm a quirky white bitch, um but I just feel like she was such a right place, right time. Algorithm loved her, people loved her, and her personality was what just sent her to the top. But what's interesting is Emma moved to LA. This is jumping way forward. Emma moved to LA and immediately got hate like this. Hate, hate, hate. And people were like, wow, Emma's changed. And honestly, I'm going to say what I believe happened. I believe that Emma Chamberlain started doing her YouTube channel because of a genuine passion and a genuine fucking love for it. It's very clear. Then things happened really quick. Her subscribers, millions upon millions, immediately. Then she has all this money, all this opportunity. She moves to LA. She's out there alone. And she doesn't have her passion anymore. Yet she still has to upload the same amount that she once did. Not only because she has to pay her bills and she was still starting out and she still has to make that money or whatever and keep active. It's a personal struggle where you're like, I still need to do what made me popular. So I posted X amount of videos whenever I was back in San Francisco, I think it was, for her. So I need to do the same now. And if you don't have that passion, that's whenever people were like, oh, Emma's starting to change. So imagine being a 17-year-old girl. I think she might have been 16, 17, 17-year-old girl. She was in Los Angeles alone, living alone in an apartment, making videos, pushing herself whenever she probably wasn't feeling the most creative or passionate about YouTube. And people being like, LA has changed you. What has happened to you? Like, I don't support you anymore. That's a lot for a 17-year-old. This is coming from someone who was 17 only a few weeks ago. Like, that's a lot for any fucking person, especially a 17-year-old who's just been thrown into making millions of dollars and being the YouTube's golden child. And people really never cut her enough slack. And I feel so bad for it. And I remember even back in the moment, like, I really love Emma Chamberlain. She's one of the few creators who have like up and coming, and she's not even up and coming anymore, who I genuinely fucking vibe with. Good energy, good videos, good time, not forced. And I feel nowadays it's not forced. It may have been, and it did feel a little bit forced back a couple of years ago whenever she moved to LA, and she had changed. It was the truth, but she had changed because of the immense pressure, and no one was really having that conversation. And looking back, I feel like the YouTube community really owes her an apology because they piled on. Jealousy, whatever, they piled the fuck on. And her content never really changed. Let's be honest, like, she was doing just in-car vlogs, she still did them nowadays, she was doing just funny videos, she was doing the same sort of videos, but it just, Emma has a very quirky editing style. We're all aware of this. But the editing started getting, in my opinion, a bit much. And I think that's whenever it was very clear that she was struggling in some way to keep up with the YouTube grind. Because the editing was forced, as I said. And it was a lot more than she normally did. And it made the video almost uncomfortable. So I feel like people were almost saying she had changed because of her editing more than her personality, which is so weird. So I'm looking through her videos here. Her videos started as like DIYs, how to improve your style, try on hoodie collection, what I eat in a day, thrift haul. So she's still doing the same videos technically she did back then. She just has more money now, so she can, do, instead of like trying on like 10 outfits, she tries on like 50, or she makes an entire new wardrobe or something like that. Driving vlogs. Her vlogs were very anti-vlogger. She wasn't the typical vlogger, and that's why YouTube loved her, because the algorithm hadn't seen anything like her before, or at least in a very long time. For the longest time on YouTube, it was almost like the most pretty, polished vlogger. And I think Emma completely changed that mold. And it's something that needed to happen. And she's definitely a pioneer of the new age of YouTube. And holy fuck, it needed to happen. So for like Emma Chamberlain, like a little clap, because I think it was so important what she did. She took a more sarcastic version of what the influencer is, and it needed to happen because I think YouTube was so serious for so many years, and good on her. She was just a young girl making videos. So again, there was also a lot of pressure that was built up on her because people were like, oh, this video wasn't as funny as your last one. Like, imagine telling that to someone who's like experiencing the amount of like, you know what I mean, people piling on her. It's a lot. Or this editing was a bit repetitive. Like, what do you fucking expect from her? And so you look at her videos nowadays, and she seems like in such a better place. She has her own coffee company. Like, girl is fucking thriving. She is beautiful. She is as funny as ever. I have nothing but nice things to say about Emma Chamberlain. And she's back with James Charles. They had a falling out with the Sister Squad, but they seem like in such a good place now, which I'm so happy for both of them. Like, especially James. She seems to be doing really well. And I think she went through a really hard time, especially being accepted into the YouTube community, because there was a lot of jealousy, and especially jealousy from the polished YouTubers who were like, she's being sarcastic and making fun of us. Like, imagine someone blows up basically doing the opposite of what you've been accustomed to doing, because YouTube has almost wanted you to do that for so many years. But now it's like, oh my god, this quirky girl who's going against everything that we know, I like it, and I like what she's doing. So they then started preferring that, and I think that's what made a lot of creators twist on YouTube and turn on YouTube. But I think it needed to happen, and that's why I love Emma Chamberlain, because without her really knowing, she completely shifted a new generation on YouTube. Whether you want to say it or not, people may disagree with me. That's why I fuck with her so hard. And just looking through her videos as well, it's very clear that there were periods where she was struggling more than others. She was pulling a lot of all-nighters, which is ironic because I'm doing that right now. Let's not talk about my mental state. And where she was alone in her house, and she hadn't decorated her apartment, and she had moved in months ago. And I'm glad that she's in like couple $1 million house right now, and it's insane. I'm so proud of her. I don't know her, like, she doesn't know me, but I don't need that to be proud of her. And people all say all the time, they're like, oh my god, Adam, what YouTubers do you like? I like Emma. And I called Emma out. Remember, she went to the party? I called her out. I have no problem calling out YouTubers I really like, because I feel like people can do that to me, so I can do it to Emma. I love Emma, and nothing takes that away. But at the same time, if you're going to do something I disagree with, and I'm going to keep up the same energy with everyone else, I'm going to keep it up with you. She hasn't done it since with partying, so I think it's very much so a judgment call. I'm really upset that she did it once at Lorraine's birthday party, but again, it's like a track history. Remember James Charles said, which I really like, and I always bring it up, he's like, look at the behavior. Does it happen all the time? If yes, then, maybe not support that person. If it's just once, then, Emma got called out for it. She didn't address it, but she started wearing her mask. She didn't go to the parties anymore. So, I mean, at least she was responsive. There's a lot of YouTubers who weren't responsive, Nikita. Sorry, had to be shady there. So that's my thing with Emma. I love Emma. I think she is phenomenal. And I think whenever you're able to base your entire channel around basically doing nothing, she doesn't do that much in her vlogs, but she just brings the camera with her. but it's not really a vlog because she's not really doing anything. She's doing the same thing in every video, and she's gotten an editor recently as well, so you know her mental health's in a better state. So I just fuck with her. I fuck with her so hard. I think she's such a great example as well. You know what I mean? She didn't change her personality at all for anyone, and I love that about her. I really, really do. So that was me talking about Emma as well.